everybody. That's Siobhan.
And that's Swayze.
And welcome to Wig and Wine Wednesdays.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Aww.
So today I'm wearing a wig from Wig is Fashion, and I'll link the wig below.
And mine is from Powder Room D, and it's the style Bubble Yum Lace Front.
And we'll link that one as well. Today's wine is this cute Moscato Rosé. It's a sparkling wine. Swayze's gonna go ahead and read us the wine notes.
It's pretty short. It just says, Moscato Rosé is a lightly sweet, sparkling wine that bubbles in your glass with bright flavors of red berries and apples. Is it good? I was like, that face is either it's really good or it's really bad. And you're
My
waiting
eyes
for
are like
me.
watering because I think of like the carbonation like hit me weird.
Ooh, that's
But
delicious.
it's delicious.
That is way good.
Like I want this in a gallon.
Holy cow. And that was only like $7-8?
I think it was 11.
Oh, okay. I just saw online it said like $9. I was like, dang, this is good.
No, I was like
Probably
11 or
Utah.
12.
Everything's worse in Utah when it comes to alcohol anyway. Okay, so since it is Valentine's Day, we decided to just talk about the topic of horrible dates. And I'm gonna go ahead and go first. And I do want to say that my date wasn't bad. It was actually really fun, but you'll see why it was awful in the moment. So I met this guy at a bar. Thought he was cute. He was like, I actually went up to him. I was like, I'm gonna be brave. And I did like the movie scene, like take a shot and walk over and be like, hi, I'm Swayze. Like, anyway, I was all proud of myself and we had a fun night. So we decided to go on a date. So he picked me up and I didn't tell anybody where I was going or like about him or anything.
You can't not tell people where you're going.
I know, I was really stupid. I just don't think I had many friends at the time. So I was just like, I'm gonna go on this date. I lived with my mom. So he picked me up. And I'm like, where are we going? And he's like, it's a surprise, it's a surprise. So then we start driving up this like mountain in the middle of nowhere and we're driving. I'm like, this is cool, it's all secluded. Where are we going? He's like, you'll see, you'll see. And then we park and I realize we're like in the middle of nowhere. Like no one can hear you, so far away. And then he stops and we get out and he's like, I have something to show you. And I'm like, okay. And he opens his trunk and pulls out a gun. And I stared at the gun and my heart just like dropped. I was like, oh, duh. I'm about to get murdered. Like, why did I not see this coming?
Oh my gosh,
so
what?
he pulls out the gun and he's like, the reason I brought you here, and he like starts putting bullets in the gun and I'm just sitting there and like, I wasn't even like run or scared. I was just like so bummed. I was like, man, because no one's gonna know where I am.
I'm gonna be that girl.
Yeah, I was like, I'm that idiot that they're like, how did she not see this coming? And he's like putting bullets in the gun. He's like, the reason I brought you here is because I teach like gun safety and I'm gonna do a private lesson with you. And so he taught me how to shoot the gun and that's why we were in the middle of nowhere so we could do whatever, and it was really fun. But
So my worst date experience, I was still in high school. It was like one of my first dates. Like I had like maybe a couple, and this guy, I have to say this because if you're not super attractive, you can't get away with this much crap. Like, you know how like if you date someone that's like, damn, they can kind of be a douchebag and get away with it because it's like, well, you're super cute. Yeah, like they just do. I know, but then when you're like, they're like so nice. Well, this guy was like, not really, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And so I agreed to go on this date. He shows up, parked in my neighbor's driveway, comes over to my house with an icy in his hands. He didn't even like think about getting me one. Like, I'm just gonna show up with an icy, but I don't have one for you, and it's like all over his shirt.
classic.
I'm like, okay, cool, let's go.
Like, awesome, I'm going on a date with a child.
Yeah, so we go outside, walk over to my neighbor's driveway to get in his car that apparently did not have air conditioning, and this is like in the summer months. And so the windows are all the way down so that we're not like sweating and gross.
He's like, that's why I poured the icy on me. It's really
seriously. And then he's blaring his music. So he's like blaring it, the windows are down, which I love to do on my own or like with friends, but on a first date, like, really don't you want to have conversation? Like, I don't really know you. This is weird. And it was really bad music. So I'm just sitting there like dying. Like, the windows are down. It's super hot. This awful music is playing. We're going down the freeway, and we were going like 45 minutes to an hour away.
Oh.
So, like,
And you're on the freeway.
it was
with
a drive. Yeah, it was a drive. I'm like, oh. And it, like, I was done before we even got where we were. But, so we get to the town we were going to, and he decides, there's so many things to do in this town, too, which is why we went there. If you've heard of Park City, Utah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what people know. Salt Lake and Park City.
So in Park City, there's like the like slide, like the roller coaster things. There's like all sorts of stuff. And I think we might have done that, but I don't really remember that part. It was just like awful. And then he's like, hey, there's a movie theater. Let's go to the movies. And I like movies, but I'm not big on movies on dates because I'd rather have conversation. And this was back when, I don't know if you ever saw The Love Guru.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a stupid, stupid movie, which is like funny stupid, but it was extra stupid because I'm with this stupid guy. And we get to inside and he decides we have to sit in the very, very back on the top. And like the whole time he's like trying to get me to make out with him and like do stuff with, I'm like, no, like first off, you haven't even made an impression. Second of all, like, I don't know you. Third of all, I'm not going to just sit here and make out in a movie theater.
His teeth are all stained blue from the slurp. He's like, come on.
It was awful. And then he's, like, getting pissed off at me. So I'm just, like, not enjoying the movie. He's pissed off at me. I'm super annoyed and frustrated and, like, scared. Because I'm like, he's just going to leave me in Park City. Like, he's not even going to take me home because I won't kiss him or whatever. So the movie gets over, and he's like, hey, let's go to this grocery store or next door or whatever.
You're like, we could have done all this in my town.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
got movie theaters and grocery stores.
So we go to this grocery store, and we're wandering for a minute, and he's like, do you want a drink or anything? I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm kind of done. I want to go home. Like, no, thank you, though. I think he might have gotten a drink. And then we
He
leave.
gets another Slurpee.
And we, like, sit in this parking lot, like, on the edge of it, like, on a curb or something, and he's like, look how cool. I just stole this, like, 5-pack of gum. And I'm like, what? You just stole 5 packs of gum while you're on a date with me.
And then shows you.
Like, I get that I'm edgy and I'm, like, a rebel.
He's like, let me show
and
her how
maybe he was
badass
trying to
I am.
impress me, but I'm like, not like that. So I just, like,
What if he would have got caught and you're just on
exactly.
this
I'm
day?
like, you just could have gotten me in trouble
Slurpee
because
on
I'm an
his shirt.
accomplice. Like, what is happening? And so I was just so unimpressed, so done. And he's like, we could do this. I'm like, no, I need to get home. I have stuff to do later today. He's like making up any excuse. So he took me home. The drive home, same thing. Windows down, music up, like awful, awkward. And I just, as soon as we get to my house, I'm like out of the car and in my house. And I'm just like crying. I'm like, Mom, it was so terrible.
And she knew the parents, so she was probably all excited.
My
and you get home.
my stepdad worked with his parents all the time, and we went to the same high school. But I was a sophomore, and he was a senior, and so like I'd occasionally see him in the hallway, but not often. But I just like always just like, like I don't want to talk to this kid. He's probably like, what went wrong? I did everything I could to
I
impress
stole in
her.
front of her. I had blue teeth. I don't understand.
I tried to like force her to do inappropriate things with me. Like, it was like everything that could go wrong in a date in one date. And I was just like blown away with how awful this, like I almost think back, I'm like, did he get dared to see how bad of a date?
Like, let's see how long she lasts.
Yeah.
Or it's like, my date was like, let's see how scared I can make her. Your date was like, let's see how mad I can
Let's
make
see
her.
how upset she will get. Like, let's see if we can make her cry.
I think both of our dates wanted to see us cry. Okay, so we absolutely want to hear your horrible date stories. They are the best. So please leave them in the comments below and we'll be replying to all of you. And don't forget, if you do want to send in a topic for us to talk about in the future, we'll have all that information in the down bar below. I swear I can talk. This wine's just really good.
It is. Speaking of,
Now we're
let's
going to
rate our
rate
wine.
it. We just got refills, and do you know what you're going to rate it?
a 5.
5.
It's so good.
feel
And it's like refreshing good.
It is. It's like crisp and delicious, and it's pretty cheap. It's 5.
It's a win. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.